So if you cannot already see, this video is not going to be a regular video that we do onto this channel regarding EDC items, FPV drones or anything like that. Basically, this is more like a conversation that I want to have with you. And it's more about my personal report card from the last 2 years regarding the digital nomad lifestyle that I have been having. So I want to tell you all about it in this video and share my thoughts on this journey being a digital nomad for last 2 years. What are the great parts about this journey? What are not so great parts about the journey? And also if you want to become a digital nomad, where you can start. So let's begin the video. Hi, my name is Ayan and on this channel I talk about tech, travel, transform. But in this video I'm going to be sharing about my digital nomad life journey. So I have been a digital nomad for last 2 years, and if you don't know, by definition a digital nomad is a person who can travel and work together for as long as they want. That's actually my definition of digital nomad, because I always perceived it like this way. But let me share a small background where it all started and how I became a digital nomad myself. So I was working for a great 9-to-5 corporate job which I left 3 years back actually. I am an electronics engineer by my education, and I started working for MNC straight out of the college, working for great companies, big names, big paychecks, and I was having a really comfortable career. I was growing every year, I was getting paid good, but there was something that was still missing. So I always loved traveling. I traveled to so many places, even as a full-time employee, even while I was having 9-to-5. But there's always one thing that was cracking me in the back of my head, that why I have to travel with a return flight and why my travel holidays are limited every year. So this started the first time when I met this lady in Goa. She was from Sweden. She was working on the beach with the laptop. So I just went to her and asked her what she's up to, and she told me that she's a digital nomad and she can basically work from anywhere. And that was kind of my first encounter with the actual digital nomad. And later on in 2019, I took a small trip to New Zealand. And if you don't know, New Zealand and Australia have a visa called work travel visa. Basically, Europeans and people from US, they can travel to New Zealand and Australia and they can stay there for 1 year. They can travel and they can work in local businesses. So yeah, I met a lot of digital nomads, but of course both of these trips, as any trip in a 9-to-5, I have to come back. I had a return flight, and as I mentioned, I was an electronics engineer. I was working with hardware, and I always thought that working remotely in hardware is never possible, because you have boards, you have wires, you are doing so many things at the same time. So how could anyone do it from home or from a beach, let's say? But things changed when COVID happened, and I was still working for this MNC, this company where I was an embedded systems engineer. And after COVID, everyone was forced to get into the lockdown, but things really worked well for this company, I would say. Even as a hardware engineer, I never really had any issues. I got everything that I wanted to work. In fact, in some times it works even better inside working from a home than an office environment. But yeah, that's when it's really kicked me that even though I'm an electronics engineer, I can still become a digital nomad. It's quite possible. So 3 years back, I actually quit my full-time 9-to-5 job when I was going to an office in Noida, and I joined another startup. It was a UK-based startup, electronics IoT startup, and it was a remote opportunity. So I was working remotely, and yes, I was traveling while working. It was second wave of COVID. I took a small trip here and there once everything was settled down, and I took my laptop. I was working. It was great experience. I traveled without a return flight ticket this time, and I really enjoyed it. But there was still something missing from that. At the end of the day, it was a job. I was an employee, and I have to sit on my laptop for 8 hours at least. I have to present when my company demands it. It was still not the true freedom that I was looking for. But after working there for 1 year, I finally decided I'm gonna quit and I'm gonna start my own business. So 2 years back, exactly while I'm recording this video, I had already settled my remote consulting business, and I was consulting different clients in electronics, IoT, hardware, software, product design, drones, and so many different things. I had a few clients. I also hired a couple of people here and there, and I finally launched my consulting business. And this was the time I started my digital nomad journey. So I traveled to a lot of different countries and worked from there without having a return flight and without worrying to come back to my home country. I traveled to Southeast Asia, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Laos, Myanmar, not Philippines, Vietnam, and then I also went to Dubai, Abu Dhabi, London, different places. So yeah, this is Australia, New Zealand. So this is my last 2-year journey working as a digital nomad, and there are a couple of things that I want to talk about this lifestyle. There are some great things and some not so great things. So let's discuss about the great thing, which is of course you can travel indefinitely and you can work, so you don't have to worry about paycheck. You don't have to worry about your return flight. You can travel anywhere you want. Of Of course, with an Indian passport, it's not really easy. So I was hanging out with a couple of people when I was in Singapore. One was from US and one was from Sweden, and we all decided, okay, let's go to Philippines. And they can just take a flight and go to Philippines, but I had to take a visa, so I have to wait for my visa to arrive. So I had an Indian passport, so it's not easy with an Indian passport to travel indefinitely. And anywhere you go, most of the time you require visa, and the visa is for limited time. But that's okay. Even with that, I made a great time traveling, met amazing people. So a great pro, I would say, for digital nomad lifestyle is you get to meet amazing people, you get to travel amazing places. I have seen people meeting up in co-working spaces and collaborating. Like I was sitting in a WeWork and two people met there. They later on they started a company, and that some company got funding. So amazing things that digital nomads people met, and they do all sort of things. And especially in Southeast Asia, there are a lot of cities that are actually catering for digital nomads. So for example, you can find a lot of digital nomads in Da Nang in Vietnam for some reason, and lot many in Chiang Mai in Thailand, where you can find a lot of amazing co-working places, a lot of different gyms, and also everyone goes for party after they are done with the work day. So yeah, I really enjoyed this lifestyle, and there are definitely a lot of pros. You meet great people, you travel to great places, you can collaborate, you can find new clients by meeting new people, and a lot many things that you can do. Another great thing that I would say for this lifestyle is definitely you pay less taxes. And if you're not already aware, if you're into a job, for example, when I was working in a company, straight away they deduct 30% of my income as a TDS tax, and then I receive rest of my salary. But once I started freelancing, I had my own consulting company. I pay a lot less taxes, especially if you're exporting your services outside your state. You get a lot of benefits. So for example, if you're a freelancer and if you're exporting your services under section 44 ADA, you get 50% tax rebate. So that means whatever you are earning, 50% is tax free straight away. And for people who have a company, you can of course show a lot of different things as your company expense. So even let's say if I'm taking a flight to India tomorrow, that will be my company business expense, and I can show it and save different taxes. So yeah, definitely you save a lot of taxes when you are a digital nomad or a freelancer. So that's another great thing about this lifestyle. Another advantage of being a digital nomad is there are a lot of countries these days, especially after COVID, that provides digital nomad or freelancer visa. I think Dubai is one of them, Estonia, you will find few countries in South America that wants to attract digital nomads to their country. They give you visa for 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, and you can stay there, you can rent a house, you can start a small business, freelance gigs, get more client locally. If you're paying tax in that country and your country has a tax treaty, you don't have to pay double taxes. That is also amazing. So I stayed and worked in Dubai for some time as a part of that thing. So yeah, going to great places, meeting great people, saving taxes, and having a freelance visa, that's some advantage of being a digital nomad. Talking about some disadvantages, some cons, there are more than a few I could think of for being in the lifestyle for 2 years. One is definitely homesickness. When you travel for elongated times, you definitely feel homesick, especially in my case, because in India we are very close to our families. It's a very tight bond, and when I was traveling for a very, very long time, month on month without coming back home, you definitely feel homesick and you want to go home. So that's one thing that you miss. Of course, Indians cannot eat any food outside. We are very picky about our food, so you don't get great food in some places. Nowadays you can easily find Indian food outside as well, but it's very expensive to go out and eat everyday Indian food. That's another thing. Uncertainty is another thing that is not the best part about this business. So it all depends on how many clients you're getting. Everyone is happy with it. You are getting payments on time. There is no issue with the clients, and if you're hiring some people, how they are at their working, things like that. So you really have to manage a lot. You really have to think a lot in terms of finances, in terms of clients and budgeting. You get a salary when you're working for a 9 to 5, but over here it's really hard to predict. Depends on the number of clients, how much you're working, and things like that. So when the market is down, and I'm into tech, so there are a lot of layoffs happening in the tech right now. So not many clients are available in the market. So that's what we have to account for. And that also means that you have to do a lot of logistics. You have to do bookkeeping. You have to do your own taxes. You have to do your own insurance. So when you work for a company, they take care of your insurance. I know that's not a great part, but that's one less thing to worry about. Over here, you have to do bookkeeping, GST returns, and all sort of things. So that becomes cumbersome. It's also a great skill to learn, to be honest, knowing accounting and bookkeeping and taxes. But if you are not really interested in that, then that's definitely one extra thing to do. One great disadvantage of this lifestyle that I really missed is the water cooler talks. So I used to meet a lot of different people. They share their experience. We talk about investing, and I learned so many things just by having those water cooler small chats over teas and some pizza parties. You get to learn a lot. You become a social person, and once you are on your own, you definitely miss socializing and a lot of different aspects of learning just by having a random conversation. So that's definitely something that you miss. And last but not the least is the work-life balance. So when I was working for the company, after 5 p.m. I just shut down my laptop and drive back home without worrying about any email, any meeting, or any work. I totally understand that it's not possible for everyone. Even some employees, they work 10 or 12 hours. So depending on the culture of the company, the work-life balance, but it was really good where I was working at. But now my work-life balance is definitely taking a toll. Even after like sometimes 9-10 p.m. at the night, I'm still taking calls with the client. I'm still working, thinking about the next day, thinking about my pitches and so many things. So definitely there are both advantages and disadvantages. But if you ask me, I would say that I would any day pick a digital nomad lifestyle over 9 to 5. This is the kind of life I built for myself, and I don't really take it for granted. I'm very fortunate for it. I am very thankful for it, and I would any day pick being a digital nomad than being a 9 to 5 employee again. I hope it doesn't come to that, but yeah, this is something that I really take it seriously and not take it for granted anyway. I'm not earning anything from YouTube, Instagram. That is something that I do purely out of my love and hobby of filmmaking and sharing stories with you people. It's okay even if I never earn anything, I will still continue doing it because of my love. I hope that someday YouTube channel and Instagram make me some extra money on the side, and I can, you know, travel more and use it to expand and do more stuff that I want to do for a very, very long time. But even if it doesn't, I will still continue doing it because that's something that I really love. I have not started YouTube this year. I'm doing it for almost 4 or 5 years, 2017, 18, 19, if I remember correctly. I took a 2-year break because in that 2 year I was actually laying foundation for this company, this remote tech consulting business, and that took all my time during that years. But other than that, I really love making videos and content creation for you guys. So this is gonna continue. I really wish this makes me some money on the side someday, but for now I'm not earning for it, but that's totally okay. Alright, in the beginning of this video I also told you that I'm gonna share resources for someone who wants to start a digital nomad life journey. So I have a small announcement to make. So I'm starting a new newsletter, a weekly newsletter that will have great resources regarding tech, travel and transformation. So if you love traveling and if you want to transform yourself with the right resources, and if you want to become a digital nomad, I will also share some resources in that newsletter. You just have to subscribe to the newsletter by going to the link in the description below. And it's very important for me to build a community of like-minded people. I think of you people as friends and family, and want everyone to grow together. People who are really passionate about traveling, people who are really passionate about growing, self-development, and that's why this newsletter will have all the resources that will help you just do that. So every week you will get a mail from me in your mailbox with great resources, and especially in today's time, it's very important to filter out the noise and read the right resources. The world is changing very fast. AI is taking over, and ChatGPT and Gemini is actually killing authentic connection. But not here. This is the community that I like to build. Like-minded people who don't compete but collaborate, help each other grow, help each other become the better version of themselves. And on that note, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and we will continue doing more chit-chat session like this every now and then. But let me know in the comment section if you have any question regarding the digital nomad lifestyle and anything you want to learn specifically. I will make a separate video and I will share more details soon. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. And on that note, I'm gonna see you in the next one.